A Navy pilot and the flight line crew prepare the FA-18 Super Hornet. Aboard the aircraft carrier John C. Stennis in the North Arabian Sea, the aircraft is ready. The plane is catapulted into the air. This was one of more than 100,000 close air support sorties in Afghanistan since 2008. This is C.J. Chivers reporting for the New York Times. No NATO fixed-wing pilot has been shot down over Afghanistan since the war began. Equipped with modern sensors and capable of supersonic speeds, these aircraft surveil from the sky and cover troop movements below. They are more integrated into ground combat than any aircraft in history. As NATO prepares to accelerate its withdrawal, hoping to transfer responsibility to Afghan units, this brand of close air support has become essential for troops below. The Afghan army has little to replace it. Earlier this year, a photographer and I flew with these pilots to understand better the aircraft's roles. Sorties headed inland over Pakistan. Within 2 hours from takeoff, they reached Afghan airspace. The pilots mostly patrolled at high altitude, searching for Taliban fighters on call if troops needed help. When a call comes, air support can take many forms. In this declassified video from October of last year, Taliban commander Abdul Qayyum was watched riding a motorcycle on a switchback dirt road. From several miles away, the pilot released a Maverick laser-guided missile. A short while later, when the team searched the crater, only fragments of Mr. Qayyum's remains were found. In other attacks, pilots used electrically operated Gatling guns in a strafe. Each round from the 20mm cannon has less than 1/3 of an ounce of explosive, allowing for attacks with less risk to non-combatants. Air-to-ground violence is rare. Roughly 1 in 20 sorties leads to a strike or strafe. New tactics stress restraint, such as a high-speed, lower-elevation pass. On this day, the American soldiers were clearing a remote canyon. The pilot flew at 620 miles an hour, 5,000 feet over the long axis of the valley. The roar of the aircraft's dual engines was intended to warn away Taliban fighters and provide American and Afghan troops assurances that air cover was nearby. After the lower elevation pass, the plane needed fuel. It met an aerial tanker. This FA-18, with a price tag as high as $100 million, cost as much as $20,000 an hour to fly. A few hours later, the aircraft completed their round trip, returning to sea. They dumped excess fuel and then approached the Stennis for an arrested landing. It was the end of one of 892 F-A-18 flights from this carrier to Afghanistan, support that allows ground troops to operate in a huge land. The Taliban has not scaled back its fight. The forces that remain will have less air cover, raising questions about how in some places they will operate at all.